Hey, welcome to your Libra horoscopes for the week of December 17th through the 23rd. So, yes, week before Christmas. Yes, still in that Mercury retrograde. It's in Capricorn beginning of the week. It starts to move into Sagittarius there towards the end of the week because, of course, we're ending in a Sagittarius retrograde. So it's a little different than all the retrogrades we've been dealing with for the last couple of years as it moves into that fire influence there, which is going to be interesting. We'll just put it that way. It's also solstice week as we say goodbye to autumn and say hello to winter, at least in the northern hemisphere. In the southern hemisphere, of course, that is the opposite as you guys are leaving spring and moving into summer. Either way, they're both the extreme seasons, and so part of that's kind of fun, but not really at the same time, right? They can be very extreme depending on where you live, so hopefully it's mild all the way around. We'll just put it that way. Here in California, though, we're looking at another really, really, really wet winter, which we don't really tend to have a lot of. And we had a massive amount of rain last year. So they're saying it's going to be pretty comparable, but I have not seen that yet. Last year, it definitely had started way before now. No planets in Libra this week. Focus is on relationships. In fact, there's really no influences at all in Libra this week. So it's kind of a nice, calm, and quiet week for you guys, really, or boring, depending on how you want to look at it. Everybody's perception is everything, right? But with focus on relationships, this is the perfect time for that, actually. Libra's really put a lot of effort into the people around them. I think more than any other sign. Have known a lot of Libras in my life, and most of them, with a few exceptions, of course, but most of them really do put a lot of time and energy into the people that they love, for sure. Those few exceptions, of course, there's always a few exceptions to every rule, but for the most part, Libras definitely love to be surrounded by the people that they love. And I feel that this is an opportunity to really start to get the plans going to make that happen, as much as possible. One thing that I do have to caution you guys about, though, and that is the Libra martyrdom syndrome. Now, there is a big difference between doing this the old way, which is literally killing yourself to do things for everybody else and expecting them to acknowledge that at some point without saying anything about it. In all the times that you've done that, it's never worked out the way you wanted it to. And because of that, probably a good idea not to do that again. Actually, this year or this time, let's do things a little bit different. Don't hope that people are going to get it. Don't hope that people are going to make the right decision and decide to see what you've done for them and make that commitment to you specifically. If you want to spend time with the people that you love, say something. Make them aware that this is what you would like them to do, preferably without the because I've already done blah, 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 blah for you BS. Nobody likes that, okay? Nobody likes it when you point those things out. It's better just to be open and honest and say, hey, you know what? I miss my kids. I'd like to spend some time with you guys. When are you guys free so we can plan a day together or a few hours together or what have you? For Christmas this year, with my children and all this stuff, I set up that planning like literally 2 months ago of what we're going to do to make sure everybody is on the same page. And even then, a week before the whole event is going to happen, I am still checking in with everybody to make sure that everybody's aware of where they need to be and what's happening on that day. So that's what it takes in order to get what you want. Those most of the time we see it in movies and TV, those wonderful moments where you didn't say anything, but everybody just happened to get the memo and all show up at the same time so that you had that moment where the whole family was together and it was wonderful. That happens in the movies. It doesn't really happen in real life. In real life, we have to make our intentions known and we have to say something in order to get what we want. So I feel that this week is really a good opportunity for you guys to get into the habit of doing that. And I'm telling you, the Libras that do this definitely get farther than the ones that are still sitting there waiting for people to see that they might want some attention too. And by giving everybody else attention in the hopes that they will get that, it never works out that way. You just are going to be disappointed, and it's Christmas. You don't want to be disappointed, so don't set yourself up for disappointment. Bottom line here, it all comes down to you and you speaking your truth and you stating what you want. A long time ago, actually, I met a lady, not a Libra. She's cool anyways, even though she's not a Libra, but she's not a Libra. But I did meet this lady who wrote this fantastic blog about all these different things. One of those blogs was Ask for What You Want. And it was actually an eye-opener or reading this blog of hers, because the example that she used was her kids' friends, and how her kids' friends would come over and she would offer them food and she would offer them drinks and she would offer them all these things. And the kids would always say no, they would always turn it down. And yet her kids, when they would go somewhere, if they were hungry, they were thirsty, they would just say, "Hey, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty. Do you have anything to eat or drink?" You know? And somewhere along the line, it seemed that we had been taught to not ask for anything, that it was rude to ask for anything. And so in childhood, you have all of these hungry kids who are denying food to themselves because their parents said, "Don't ask for food. Don't be bothering people with with your needs." And that translates into adulthood as continuously not asking for what you want, just sitting back and hoping that somebody gives you what you want without you having to ask for it. And it really does set us up for failure as adults, because I was one of those kids that was raised, you don't go around to other people's houses and eat their food. There's plenty of food here. Don't have these people feeling like we're not feeding you. And so consequently, in my adult life, if I wanted a raise, I wouldn't say anything. If I wanted a promotion, I would just work really hard and hope that they saw that I was working really hard. And it led to disappointment a lot. So bottom line here is we need, especially you Libras that tend to self-sacrifice a lot, it is really vitally important that we learn to change that. Start asking for what you want. Start specifying that this is where with the direction that you want to go in with your plans and goals. Start taking ownership of that in order to change the way things are now. Because if you don't put the time into it, nothing is going to change. And nothing changing is no fun at all. So that's what I have for you guys this week. If you love your horoscopes, do consider sending a tip or donation to my coffee link down there in the description. I would really appreciate that. Also down there in the description, I am offering a 25% discount for an hour reading to anyone who would appreciate that, like that, wants to connect with their loved ones in spirit, wants to take a look at what 2024 has to offer them, whatever it is. There's a 25% discount for it, and you can use it over and over again until December 31st. It is there for everybody, regardless of how many times you want to use it. All you need to do is make a note of the promo code there in the description, click the link, book your time, make sure you put the promo code in there, and voila, you got your discount. It's just as easy as that. I'm Melissa Bruce, the Heavy Metal Psychic. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week. And in the meantime, you guys find your power in your voice because it is powerful. And it's about time you realized just how powerful that is. You guys make it a great week, and I will see you next week.